this issue. Do you agree with that?
There is, for me, there is no cover-up at all. Absolutely, there's no cover-up. Rather, people are trying to build up castle on the air by trying to make one or two unnecessary insinuations because of what is on the ground. You know, so since not even that multinational joint task force. Okay. Look at the related task force that have been parading in the streets and crossing roadblocks. People are not saying, no, they are extorting money, they are doing this, but these are military men that stays under the sun, under the rain, trying to make sure that at least to a barest minimum that lives are made safe.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, you see some people who try to discredit them. These are people who feed fat on insecurity. These are people who feed fat on terrorism. These are people who feed fat on chaos. When these things are going on, you know, some people's bank accounts are being enlarged. Okay. You know, so when things, there is no, even it happened in the Niger Delta region. Some people were busy trying to make sure that the amnesty did not see the light of the day. They were going all out and saying that it will not work out, it will be a hype, it will be this, it will be that. But lo and behold, at the end of the day, it was a huge success. So there are people who would like to discredit the system in order to fit far from the insecurity of the situation. That is just that. But I am not saying that we have a perfect institutions. Okay. I'm not saying we have a perfect organizations. Yeah, they have their one or two imperfections.
Would you
but
say,
we should not discredit the entire institution. Hold on. We should not discredit the entire institution because of one or two imperfections. Okay. It's not done.
Okay.
But we are going somewhere when we get there.
Okay. I like what you're saying because, but would you speak the same way if you had a family member, you lost a family member in that situation? Would you talk like this and say, okay, the military will deserve more or less, they deserve some patience, or you know?
I am not saying that the military deserve credit.
Okay.
All I am saying is that we should look this thing from a dispassionate point of view on holistically what we have on the ground is security challenges. Okay. My brother, the Boko Haram, these terrorists will go out from BAGA community, go and unleash terror and kill hundreds of Nigerians elsewhere, come back there, and they enjoy safe haven. So you don't understand that one day it will turn on them, on the community itself. I am not in support of the killing, but I am against the security institutions we have on the ground. That some people are supporting these insurgents. Some people are supporting the Boko Haram and allow them. But from there they go. Okay, the other day they went and killed somebody at Ringim's house, bombed the place. They went and bombed the churches. Lives have been lost. Okay. There's something we are leaving behind there. It's not only the life of the citizens of BAGA community that are lost. Okay. Many lives have lost in the past. It may be anybody. So what we are saying is that let's look at these issues holistically. We should not look at it because I am from BAGA or is my brother, is my relation. No, irrespective of whose ox is God, okay, irrespective of who is involved now, holistically you have security challenges. If you allow BAGA community to still regroup, okay, and harbor Boko Haram terrorists there, who knows where else will be their target tomorrow? So let's not lose the fact that we are not looking at it. No, like you asked me this question now. What if it's my brother's life was involved, or myself, or my children, or all that? It could be anybody. Okay. So that's why I said let's look at it dispassionately. Boko Haram is bad. They are insurgents, and the government are saying they will give them amnesty. Irrespective, to me, that amnesty it could be dispensable, it could be reasonable, but it's irrational to give them amnesty. But you know, if that is what it will take for us to have peace, to avoid this bloodshed, so be it. Because if you allow them to thrive, they may cause havoc to another person tomorrow. Okay. So don't quote me wrong. I am not saying that what the killing at BAGA this was okay. I started this by saying it is unacceptable. Okay. It is bad, and every right-thinking member of this society should stand up against that. But while doing that, we should do it on a holistic point of view. We should do it holistically, bearing in mind that there is one problem we have. Right. Whether it is BAGA, whether it is Abuja, whether it's the police building that have been bombed, it is all about security challenges that we have to tackle. And for us to do that, we have to do that dispassionately and let those people who knows where they are. Our security agencies, our police, our army, they are not ghosts. We need community help. It needs you and I to assist them. Please don't look at these people are here.
Wait, considering the antecedents, let me put it that way. There are other flashpoints within the country. Look at Plateau State. The military is there. And what reports have been coming out, even during some people report that attacks, will find out that some are wearing military uniform. That's what reports say, but it have not been verified. But you know, these are reports. Now, the military says BAGA is it's a stronghold for Boko Haram. Where did they get that intel? What is there to, you know, how can they prove that to Nigerians that that is a stronghold?
From the mop-up, whatever that's from the information. You and I were not there. This is the information they gave to us. Okay. From when they carried up mop-up, they discovered all this, and that's all I also suggest that all these other things should be bring into the probe. Who are responsible for all these military uniforms that Boko Harams are using? Okay. Remember, around 13th to 16th of March or whatever, when the president went to Yobe State and Borno State, when he left, there was serious arms and ammunition that were seized from Boko Haram or whatever. Are you telling me that there's somebody somewhere made them to have access to those arms? Who are those people? Who are they? So they are not ghosts, are they? Somebody actually somewhere gave it to them. So that's why I said these things should be looked at holistically. If we must tackle these security challenges, we must look at it from every facet. Okay. Irrespective, like I said, the area commander of the police unit, the DP of the police station where BAGA community is situated, must come to answer questions. Because if this place is a safe haven and you're a police post here,
must provide how they were able to stay under his radar.
Absolutely, absolutely. Then the local government chairman of Kagamu local government should have a question to answer. This is your local government, for crying out loud, and you receive money as a salary. In fact, even your councillor, are you telling me that you and your councillor does not know that Boko Haram have their enclave in your community? Even the House of Assembly member, who calls himself honorable member of the House of Assembly, you are meant to represent your constituency. And it now happens that your constituency is a safe haven for Boko Haram. You think he doesn't have a question to answer? Even Senator Maina have a question to answer, because in your senatorial zone, Boko Haram have their safe haven, and nobody have come to report them. So people have to answer questions. It is only in answering questions that you get to the root of the matter. And if you don't get to the root of this matter, it is BAGA today, maybe another community tomorrow.
Okay. Now, Daniel Bekele of Human Rights Watch says that the military should be thoroughly investigated to get to the root of the matter. Now, do you consider this a major distraction to the fight against terrorism?
Not just a major distraction to the fight against terrorism, but a major distraction to the amnesty, the proposed amnesty that the president had magnanimously, decided to grant the Boko Haram. Okay. Some people will do everything humanly possible to cause the distractions to the process. The president just commissioned the Mohammed, the defense minister committee to look at dialogue and ways of solving the amnesty and what have you, and institute the other Emmanuel Esuhe committee on proliferation of small arms and all that. There is a process the government had embarked on to checkmate this, and some people somewhere who had vowed that they will make the nation ungovernable for the president. Do you think that they are shading their sword? They are not. So even more of the remote or direct cause of this BAGA massacre, if you don't doubt me, may not be related to them. Because some people now say, okay, even if they are giving you amnesty, some have not said that we don't need amnesty. It's even the government that needs amnesty. Do you think that those people have the intelligence to say that? Some people are feeding them on that because they are feeding fat on this issue. Some Nigerians are feeding fat on insecurity. You don't know that? The whole Nigerians are doing that. They are feeling so well on insecurity. And as long as this thing continues, they will be smiling to the bank.
Well, if what you're saying is true, Mr. Nwaneri, that means that's a very sad situation because lives are involved. And the value of life right now seems to have dropped drastically. Now, a BAGA community resident, a 32-year-old fisherman, told Human Rights Watch that we had heard the soldiers say before the attack that since you people, are not cooperating with us and are hiding your brothers, we will treat you as one of them. Do you agree with that?
That's one of the consequences of shielding criminals. Please, my heart goes out to the victims of this massacre. But there is a price to pay for shielding hoodlums. Let me tell you, for instance, let me draw an analogy now. A landlord that allows his house to be used as safe haven for criminals without reporting them. On the day of reckoning, when the law enforcement will come, everybody will be picked. Even if the landlord is there, he will be picked. Are you getting my point? Yeah. Now, so any community, be it BAGA, be it Ikeja, be it Oregu, be it anywhere, if the community elders there, if the leaders allow their community to be used as safe haven for criminals, the consequences can never be measured. That is one thing I want everybody to appreciate. We have security challenges in the land, and it needs the cooperation of all and sundry for this to be tackled. Right. It's not. Let's not just say, "Hey, PDP government. Hey, it is the security. Our security is level. Our army doesn't know how to shoot." Everybody has to be involved. When the Boko Haram we are settling gradually at BAGA community, if any person from BAGA community went and reported to the authorities and they picked them up, this horrendous magnitude of deaths wouldn't have been recorded. Nowadays today. So I want people to appreciate that there is consequences of our actions or inactions when it comes to security. It may be anybody. So I'm not in support. Also, I'm not in support that life should be lost, life of innocent Nigerians should be lost. But I say that for us to tackle these security challenges, it needs the help and assistance of all and sundry. It should not be. We should not be distancing ourselves that the military should live up to the situation and go to BAGA and just pick up those Boko Haram and go. It's not easy to do that. It's not easy at all. So,
but when you see other interventions in other parts of the world, like when
as a situation whereby when you go into the community, the criminals, the Boko Haram will now use those innocent people as shield. There must be casualties. There must be, regrettably though. There must be casualties. So what do? Nip it in the bud. Try to avoid it before it grows its headed effect. But by the time all those leaders try to play the ostrich, it should be the consequence. Too bad for all of us as a nation.
Well, Mr. Nwaneri, now it really paints a very interesting picture. The fact that you're saying that we should, it involves everybody's effort right now. It's not left on the laps of the government alone or the security operatives. Every Nigerian should be involved in tackling this menace called terrorism. Now, but before I let you go, and you tell us, what would you want to tell the government, or what angle or what steps would you like them to take to make sure that in future, if this kind of controversies can be averted, people can be actually made to understand, because right now I think there is a disjoint between government and, the people. There should be something to bridge the gap so that they are carried along, in this situation.
There's a great disconnect between the military and the civilians. It's not supposed to be so. As a way out, OD massacre had happened, Zakibia massacre had happened, this one had happened. Our military need a retraining. They need to be retrained. They need to be involved in intensive training as to intervention strategies. That's what they do about institutes like this. Because if they committed the same flaw in OD, committed the same flaw in Zakibia, and committing the same flaw in BAGA, it's becoming the order of the day. It should not be their label. So they should have to retrain themselves and be better equipped. And secondly, there is need for all this money that government is budgeting to security. I don't know where it's going, because from the way we are being challenged security-wise, there is need for this closed-circuit television on every major streets, or in this community, all those hot zones.
Okay.
They should have these security gadgets, walkie-talkie, CCTV, and all that. Then, like I said, security issue is a holistic issue. Just like police cannot come here and know there are criminals here. Okay. Army cannot come here and know there are Boko Harams here. It needs the cooperation of all and sundry. It needs the cooperation of every Nigerian for us to tackle this security challenge that we have on land. So we should not leave it that it is for government or for the police or for the army or for the SSS. All of us have to get involved. By the time we get involved, we see that these people will be picked up. Look at what happened in Napapa last time when there was information that Boko Haram were trying to settle there. Okay. What happened? Assuming that people had kept quiet and said, hey, if I report, they will kill me, who knows what will happen to me? That thing would have taken another dimension. And you and I wouldn't know what would be the after effect today. So these are the things we should know. Most importantly, people have to cooperate with the government.
Okay, cooperation.
People have to cooperate with the government to make sure that all these bagheads are fished out. If they don't, even if you have the best security apparatus, it won't make any sense. But community policing, is very important.
All right. Well, some extreme opinion has it that the operation is masterminded by Israel's intelligence agency, Mossad. You know, Mossad, according to them, wants to replicate, Palestine in northern Nigeria. Do you see any connection to, the realities on ground with this assertion?
I'm glad you said they're extremists. It can be given any extremist interpretations. I'm not looking that far.
Okay.
Of Al-Qaeda connections, Assad connections. I'm looking in words. Let's solve our problem in words. Forget about all these. Those are insinuations. Insinuations are bound to occur when issues like this happen. So let's not go further. Let's not go look further. Let's look inwards. Okay. If there is Assad connection, Al-Qaeda connections, what is our own connections down here? So that one, I look at it as mere overhyped and exaggerated piece of information. I don't see it as being accurate. Rather, I'm more interested, and I like the authorities to be more concerned about what we have on the ground, to be more concerned about the cooperation of the people, to be more concerned about what we do to ourselves, to be more concerned about how we brother to each and every one of us. And not just because it's BAGA. Some people are say no, but it could be any community at all. So, but the issue, just like now, there is amnesty is on the line. Everybody say, okay, amnesty. Let's wait and see the templates. So the government come and say, let's see how these people who are so averse to Western education, these people who say that they want to Islamize the northern Nigeria, if not Islamizing the whole nation, you have to tell them that they will key into DDR program, the mobilization and the reintegration. I wonder how it's going to be. But let's see the template. I'm glad that the government have taken the bull by the horn, back down on pressure. If no, sometime in March or 13th or whatever, our president said they are ghosts, he's not going to do that. And we supported them. We appreciated that position. Okay. But unfortunately, because being a listening president, and yes, it's a democratic government that we're in, devoid of authoritarianism, devoid of dictatorial tendencies, he had accepted to bow down to pressures. Okay. Let's see how it works out at the end of the day. Give them amnesty, okay, let them come and embrace it, and let's see how it works. Okay. But if that is what it would take for we to have peace in this country, so be it. We should not be we should not be saying no to amnesty, even though it may be rational, but it's defensible. I mean, it can be logical, because the government says, instead of like what happened in BAGA, if you face them headlong, there'll be more casualties. Okay. So let's back down, give them amnesty, even if they accept it, and that becomes a different thing altogether.
All right, Mr. Nwena, I want to put this, do you see the federal government, do you see our security forces winning this fight based on the approach that they are taking right now? Do you see them winning this fight?
If I answer that based on my own, because I'm a non-violence practitioner.
Okay.
What I teach the Niger Delta militants It's non-violence philosophy. Violence have never gotten us anywhere. There is no, you cannot achieve anything through violence. You see, anything you can achieve that is violence is peace of the graveyard. It can't be total peace. There will be peace, to be peace without justice. That's anything you achieve with violence. That is, cannot get anything through violence. That's a dialogue.
Okay.
Dialogue.
All right.
You know? So, and we are looking at the causative. We are looking at the symptoms.
All right.
You don't treat problem from the symptoms. Look at the causative effects.
Which are?
Why do we have this? That's what the government have to sit down and call experts. They sit down and say, why do you have all these security challenges all this while? It's not just because Boko Haram are carrying guns, Masob are carrying guns, OPC are carrying guns. Where do you have this ethnic militia? Where do you have all this? Is it that because maybe we need to sit down on a round table and know why we exist together as a nation? Is it that we need to sit down together and fashion ourselves an autonomous constitution and say that we will have input, everybody will have input, and not just lying that we Nigerians, whereas Nigerians don't have any input in that constitution? So there are things that we need to settle down and so because
okay, you're saying that they are yet to do that.
They are yet to do that.
Right.
So, but tackling this thing by violence will not get us anywhere.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Nwaneri. Well, have you heard it from Mr. Nwaneri? We've been talking so much about the BAGA massacre, I beg your pardon, and getting the facts right. And if, believe me, I have gotten some facts from this gentleman. He's been a very interesting person to be with on the show. I hope you heard everything he said. He's a legal practitioner, consultant for the federal government on amnesty program, and he's also a public policy analyst. I want to thank you for coming on the show, Mr. Nwaneri. It's been a very interesting one with you, and I look forward to seeing you again. Come on the agenda. Well, have you heard everything we talked about? The BAGA massacre, getting the facts right. And I hope we've gotten the facts now that it's not just a fight for the government alone. It's not just about treating the symptoms, but let's go to the root of the cause matter. What is actually the cause of the whole situation? Do we have to sit down and address these things and leave politicking out of it and really face issues? Well, that's all I have to leave you with. You can ponder on that, and definitely you can reach out to us on our website at www.loveworldplusnews.org. My name is Henry Williams, and until we meet again on another edition of The Agenda, it's bye for me from now.
So it's not the constitution that is a problem per se, but those that are supposed to